Hello, America. This is your GameSpot Briefings, episode 122. This is me. My name is Putnam Whipple.
Putnam Whipple?
Yes.
All right. Sounds good.
That is GameSpot the Brief.
Yeah.
That's a character that Scott and I have kind of been kicking around.
I hear it's called workshopping.
Yeah, workshopping.
We are workshopping character. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
This is where we answer questions.
About
yes?
video games.
Yes. Okay, I have a question. If Kirby eat a man, does that mean he turned into work? Thank you.
Kirby just puts on his hat and suit.
Why is every time Super Mario get 100 coin, he have 0? Thank you. Yeah, he's the Eastern European boy who writes letters to Nintendo Power. Much.
If F-Zero car can fly, why drive off track, not fly? Thank you.
When will Donkey Kong go back to store and say, I bought tie and did not receive shoes? Thank you.
Yes.
So has anyone actually been playing any games this week?
Animal Cross.
It just came out in your country, right?
Yes.
How do I turn my dog into police officer like Animal Cross? Thank you.
I love the thank yous after. At least you're polite about it, you know?
Hey. If raccoon is in Animal Cross... Let me try that again. If raccoon is in Animal Cross, does that mean he is banned? He has banned it? Will he break into home that he has banned that mask? Thank you.
Excuse me, if real raccoon work in Walmart, will everyone get rabies? Thank you.
On my downtime, I like to listen to video game podcasts, and not so much because of video games, because I'm kind of out of the loop lately, I'm behind the curve. I don't play video games as much as I used to, but I did like crazy when I was a kid, and I think that's why I like video game podcasts so much, is that the guys who run these shows all tend to be my approximate age, and we just have this kind of common vocabulary, we all came from the same place, we all have the same cultural references. I identify with these people. And I've also found these shows are like little treasure troves of just weird, funny stories and strange jokes. So as I hear stuff that stands out to me, I've just been kind of putting them aside. So that's what this show is going to be, is just different clips from different video game podcasts. So I don't know if this is going to resonate with everybody the same way that it does with me. That clip I opened the show with is probably a good example. To me, I loved that, man. I died laughing at that. But if that didn't hit you right, or that didn't make sense to you, then maybe you're not going to dig this show. But overall, I think they talk about experiences that are universal enough. I think it'll work. So these clips are from the GameSpot debriefings, Rebel FM, GFW Radio, and the Mobcast. And if you want to hear the specific shows they're from, just go to the show notes at keithcourage.com, and I'll list where I pulled all these clips from. So I hope you enjoy.
The bottom of my computer desk feels like braille to the finger. A cave ceiling, stalactites and such, but all boogers. I stick them there while waiting for maps to load and while watching cutscenes, so blame the game, not the player. I swish my legs through Taco Bell wrappers, leg high, and some stick to my soles like toilet tissue on a shoe. I suppose I have myself to blame for that, however hygiene's never been my strong suit. There's not a dish in sight, though, and that being because, well, I can ratatouille and souffle a souffle like nobody's business. All with limp-wristed Wiimote gestures, I can't actually cook. I take out and order in, damn it. I need a USB-powered Hot Pocket heater. Slash pizza ain't a punchline, it's a lifeline. Throw me a chicken bone here, as long as there's meat left on it. And don't go feed them to the dog. They splinter and the sharp ends heard something fierce on the outbound, and damn it, I don't need the howling in the background as I talk to my buddies in TeamSpeak. In the future, scientists will prove my Z-board made me 16.2% faster. It's luxury, it's lightning, it's been signed by Fatality, and pizza grease no less. And if your FPS screen name is Princess PMS, you better believe I'm asking ASL. No hotkey makes me hotter, and I might not know you, but I already love you. Let me buy you nachos Bel Grande, baby. Or better yet, a 7-layer crunch wrap supreme and Baja Blast. We'll attack it from either end until our mouths meet in the middle like Lady and the Tramp, only remade for today's brandscape. Living the good life of El Presidente. Make it mild or hot or make it fire, no matter to me. We'll lay in the wrappers and make snow angels, maybe. Just don't look up at the bottom of my computer desk.
I think Jack Kerouac is shitting himself right now.
What if this camera right here was a girl, okay, and you were explaining to the girl why Call of Duty was so, or these games are so addictive? What would you tell her?
Well, being a man in your free time, it involves a lot of smoking weed and sitting on the couch. And if you can enhance that with vivid, bright, moving colors that you can, in fact, control with something just as simple as your thumbs, well, fucking A, you got your day made.
Yeah.
This letter is from Jaren, and it's titled "Relationship and Drugs Super Question."
So like Jared and Aaron combined.
It says,
I thought he was going to ask.
My name is Jay. I live in Davis, California, and I listen to the podcast all the time. And was wondering if you can help me with a relationship problem I'm having.
Nope.
I'm going into my senior year of high school, and I've never had a girlfriend. I am not an ugly guy, but I'm really lazy, and a lot of girls I like are way out of my leagues.
AKA fat.
I don't do drugs, but recently I started selling drugs because I like money. I found that my popularity among the ladies of a certain crowd has increased considerably.
Oh, I bet. I would imagine.
One of these girls is one I have liked for a while, and we just started dating, but I think she is dating me for a free hookup. I don't really have a problem with this because I'm also just dating her for her looks. My question is it considered prostitution if someone wants to sleep with you for weed? And if it's legal, is that a really sleazy thing to do?
How do we wander into Dazed and Confused?
Yeah, here's what he should learn. He has a lot of money. He has a lot of money from dealing drugs, correct? But here's the move to get a lot of chicks. Like, you put out this image that, I got a shit ton of dough. Let's go out for a night on the town. You don't buy shit. You make her pay. You be really cheap with it. And she'll be like, why the fuck isn't he giving it up? Maybe I got to give it up first. And then she gives it up. And you spent $5 on her. And you got to fuck her.
No. That's a fantasy.
That's not a fantasy.
Let's go back to the very first time you don't pick up the check.
I'd like to explain something to you, Robert.
Yes.
Scott spent a lot of time as a fat guy and then lost a bunch of weight. And all that time as a fat guy, I feel like he was thinking up ways to fuck over girls once he was no.
Do you want to know a hot
guy.
tip? When I was living in LA, if you live in a very metropolitan area near the financial district, go around to the ATM machines. This worked before cell phones were really prominent, but go around to the ATM machines. I guarantee if you spend enough time in the garbage cans at ATM machines, you will pull out a receipt that has a 6-figure balance on it. Now, when you go to the bar and talk to a girl, you say, oh shit, I don't have my phone on me. You have a pen. Let me write my number down on this receipt. You write the number on the receipt. Guaranteed to look at the balance. Guaranteed she'll call you back.
Wow.
Jeez.
That works.
Strange.
Yeah, so dig in the trash, guys.
But on a more basic level, if this guy's hanging out with this girl and giving her,
it worked every time.
Giving her weed. If they're sitting around and smoking weed together and he hasn't even gotten anywhere, it's like if you get stoned with a girl and you don't make out with her, then you're never gonna make out with her.
That's true. That's true.
Also, I'm glad we all guessed it was weed, because if it was another drug, this wouldn't be a problem. If you want drunk, no, for real. If you want drunk, needy girls to call you at 3 o'clock in the morning, become a coke dealer.
all right. This advice is going way in the direction I did not think.
Well, if the Earth's going to end in a year, then aliens will likely come by and beam up select members of the Earthling species. And, naturally they're going to want a Earthling gamer, and then, of course, they'll put the Earthling gamer in a holodeck exhibit. And then, you know, they beam you up before the Earth blows up or melts or whatever's happening. And the only thing you could tell the aliens is what era you want your exhibit to be. Basically, you know, what year do you want your exhibit to be set in. And then you'll be living in this holodeck exhibit of games until you die of natural causes. So it's pretty important that you pick the right year.
A living exhibit.
Are they going to keep you the way you were before the Earth exploded and let you shit in your chair? Is this like, are they going to give you a toilet? Like, how does this work?
It's a very lifelike exhibit.
Okay.
You get to watch you shit in your chair.
They keep it as lifelike as possible.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, it's like an aquarium. They'll have scuba divers come in and clear that shit out, clean out your shit.
It's kind of weird, guys in
They
scuba
put a little
outfits.
treasure chest next to you.
And I picked an arcade, like a mall arcade, like an Aladdin's Castle, or I don't know what people had in their mall arcades. A mall game room from like 1991, so it'd be packed with all like, you know, the classic, that's kind of like the golden era, or really toward the end of the golden era of arcade games. So you had, you know, Street Fighter 2, but all the stuff that came out before, like Afterburner and Smash TV and, you know, Tetris and Galaga.
So it is a pretty much the perfect answer, but your fatal flaw is that there's really nowhere to sit down.
Well, there's the Afterburner machine.
But those were incredibly uncomfortable.
But the nice thing about it is when I do eventually get bored, because, you know, say 20 years on, I'm going to get sick of playing Russian Attack or whatever and shitting in the...
I don't think so.
No. and taking a dump behind the token machine. The arcade machines, I've always heard, they're incredibly dangerous if you open them up. There's all kinds of transistors and things that hold incredible amounts of electricity. So
you have an end game.
What's that?
You have an end game.
I have an end game. Yeah.
Cyanide capsule.
I'll just go and open up the back of...
You get your own kill screen.
Open up the back of Chopper Command and walk into it, and that'll be how I'll go out.
Aliens will be so
They'll
pissed.
be like, where did he go? He disappeared.
Our exhibit.
I die as I live.
Our star exhibit.
Yeah, it's ended on such a down note. Like, it started off so great. You're in this arcade, you're having fun, and you're like, really? I'm gonna go inside of an arcade cabinet and kill myself.
That's pretty much how my real life's gonna end. There's something about like the mall arcade that was just so. If I'm gonna, it's like a happy place, you know, for me to go to. That
until you kill yourself. Until you enter the suicide machine.
Until I walk in a turbo.
We were talking about arcades, and I have some unfinished business, like classic arcade stories. There's a time, it was called Wonderland in San Diego, and it's like $1.75 to get in, 5 to 10 cents to play all the games once you paid your entry fee. And we'd just go there to like, you know, you're in that age, like summer in high school or whatever, there's like nothing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You got a car, but you ain't got no money, and you just go places, mess around or whatever.
There's a song in this somewhere.
So we just go there to like prank the hell out of this place, and like, of course, fart bombs, stink bombs, that's like, I mean, that's a given. So you know how they have like the sit down games, like a racing game or whatever, there's two seats.
Oh yeah.
So you find a fool who's in there, obviously he doesn't want to get up, so pop one of them, throw it in there with him, like, enjoy, dude. Then you know, just you work your way around the place, just cruising around, you hit everyone up. One of my friends, this is too much. Like, this is assholish. He took an upper tanker in their bathroom, the Wonderland bath. If this place is still around, I'm sorry, guys. But he took an upper tanker in there. That's where, like, you take the lid off the top of the toilet and you deuce in there. And then, so the next fool that flushes it, it's immediate, like a Blackwater overflow.
Oh.
So he would, okay. So he did an upper tanker.
Oh, man.
So you guys never did that stuff?
No, we weren't bullies like you.
I was on the receiving end
The
mostly.
fool get his hand caught in the redemption prize, trying to snake the prizes out of it. They got to call the ambulance. I would get punked plenty of times. Like
With
you'd
the
be
change.
playing and some bigger kid would come over, you wait for you to put your quarter in, and you just, because you're there on your own, you rode your bike there or some shit,
Mhm.
you just push you aside and then play.
I had that happen.
Sit there and watch him.
Yep. That was actually
that shit's so funny now. It's like the end of the world though when you're that kid. You
Oh,
feel
sure.
so ripped off and violated. There's no one to tell.
That's what I'm saying. See, I'd go home and cry. Some guy pulled a knife on me at the Dodger game on cap day and took my cap. I got my
Nice.
free Dodger cap. It's like, man, you got one too. We all got one coming in. You got to take mine.
Dude, he
What?
pulled a knife on you for a Dodger cap.
Yeah. And then the Dodger Stadium wouldn't give me a new one.
How old were you when that happened?
Like 24. Yeah, I'm kidding. I was like 8. I was like a little kid.
Dude, who pulls a knife on an 8-year-old?
Well, somebody who really wanted a second.
A 9-year-old?
No, it was like a grown man.
That's
like
pretty messed up. Man.
Yeah.
That's way messed up.
Oh man, I wanted a Mogwai too when I was a child.
I didn't. Very high
those
maintenance.
little
That would've
fluffy
ended
fuckers are just
Wait,
messed up. They're so easily, like you can fuck with them so easily.
while we're going off
I
topic,
have, gentlemen, I have gathered you here today to pitch you a few T-shirt ideas.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we have spoken of gremlins. What if we had a bottle of water with a cap on it next to a Mogwai, and we call that birth control? Boom. Send it to Threadless. Send that shirt to Threadless.
Scott and I have
It's
been
going to be a million seller.
For our listeners, Scott and I have been doing this pretty much all week.
Yeah.
It's the guy who runs the Threadless T-shirt pitch meetings.
Gentlemen, I have the perfect pitch for our company picnics.
I am listening.
It is a T-shirt. It is one of the best T-shirts I will ever pitch you.
I like what I am hearing so far.
It is a great T-shirt. American apparel based.
Okay.
I'm all ears.
It has a cardboard box depicted with the top of the box off of it.
My interest is piqued.
There's nothing inside this cardboard box, and on the side, it is labeled threads.
I think that is good
There's
for our
nothing in the box, and it's threadless.
While I would agree
Do you
that this
understand
is,
what I'm saying?
This is the greatest
it is brilliant.
idea.
This is for picnics and all sorts of gatherings and pizza parties. We could all be wearing these shirts.
This is the greatest idea I have ever heard. However, I do not think it is worthy of a shirt. I think it is worthy of our new corporate logo. It goes on every shirt on the tag.
Oh my God, I am blown away with
Excuse
what my
me,
mind just
excuse me.
thought of.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, we.
Jesus Christ.
So here we have pictured Jesus Christ, our Lord Savior, and he is barreling down a soccer field at great lengths, kicking a ball, and underneath is the text that says, "Jesus died for our shins."
Threadless.
Boys and girls, pay very close attention. Here we have pictured an illustrative drawing of a chinchilla, and upon his eyeglasses are sunglasses. And underneath, in text, it says, "Chinchillin."
I do not like that idea. You take that garbage over to Snog Tees or Busted Tees. That will never ever fly at Threadless, sir. You have disgraced me. What if?
I'm listening.
What if we drew a picture?
My ears are
What if
already
we-
tantalized.
They're flapping like butterflies' wings for your sweet, sweet pitches.
You had me.
Come on, Carl. Just get them out there.
What if?
My hand is out for the shaking.
What if we had an SAT test, but instead of taking it,
This is the best one. I'm quivering in anticipation.
Are you gonna even be able
let
to
me
get this
start
around?
over. I realize that pause.
Let me make sure I am sitting.
No, this is.
I want to make sure all of you are sitting.
My feet are firmly planted on the floor.
Listen,
What if-
I am here, brother, with you.
What
We
if-
will have pizza following your pitch.
I am
Good.
certainly.
What if we had? Listen, I am ready to start my pitch.
My thumb
What
is
if
ready
we
to
had
go up.
a standardized test as a drawing, but instead of taking the standardized test with a standard number 2 pencil, you took it with a tube of lipstick and an eyeliner pen. We call this t-shirt Makeup Test. Send it to Threadless.
Getting to go to Japan for the first time, the closest I had been was Shenmue. I think just being there and going to Akihabara and seeing that it was what I expected it to be off TV and hearing other people, just the floors and floors of games and bright colors and the advertisements everywhere and the neon and the TVs and everything. It was really cool that it kind of lived up to what TV and movies had made me expect about it.
For me, it was like there was a good 2 or 3 year stretch where I was bringing an extra suitcase over there that was empty and going to Akihabara and filling it up, basically. Like getting like, okay, I'm gonna get a Famicom Twin. I need to get the PS1 tambourine game that has Morning Musume on the cover of it, and just like getting deeper and deeper into this hole of obscure Japanese stuff to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna start buying arcade boards. You just reach that point where like, I've got, I don't need another Neo Geo. I've got one. I don't need more Neo Geo games. I've got all the weird, expensive ones. So it just became this escalation of like, well, now I'm just going to start buying Capcom CPS2 boards and.
Did you actually buy that stuff and bring them back? Yeah. And do you ever have trouble with security, thinking like you're some high-tech terrorist?
No, not really. Because on the U.S. side they don't check it, and on the Japanese side they know what it is. So like that was always the way to get away with that stuff. It was never really that big of a deal. I mean, we got into airsoft.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah,
like we'd sail right through Japanese airline security
with airsoft, super
guns.
realistic looking weaponry. And that was actually the first time. It was like me and Ryan McDonald found these airsoft stores. We're like, dude, we're buying rifles and bringing them back to the States. So it's like, here I am with like an MP5. He's got like an M16, and we're like trying to figure out like, what are we gonna do with this stuff? So he wraps his up in brown paper or something like that, and he's like, I'm gonna ship it back, dude. And we start calling FedEx and saying like, is this thing even legal? And FedEx doesn't want anything to do with it. Like the FAA or the TSA is saying like, well, technically those are toys, so as long as they meet certain restrictions with like, as long as the barrel is orange, you can bring them in. Or we didn't have the means to do any of that, so we're like, whatever, we're bringing them. We get to security on the Japan side, and they x-ray the luggage very up front when you first get to the airport in Narita, and they take a look at this bag and go like, okay, we need to pull some stuff out. And so it's a huge line of people flying back to the States, not all of them there for TGS, or just flying all over the world. Dude in uniform reaches into Ryan's bag, pulls out an M16, holds it up, and just starts like eyeing it. And then, like, I turn around and everyone in that line is losing their minds. Just like, oh my god! Like they're just like literally like flipping out, staring at this thing. Like everything goes silent. I'm like trying really hard not to lose it. And then, like a second time, they lose it even further because the guy looks at it and just kind of nods and throws it back in the bag and says, "Go on ahead." Same thing with mine, and
it looks like a sitcom situation or
totally,
something.
Yeah. It's just it's like a real Three's Company moment of like, yeah, got these guns, bringing them home. But on the Japan side, there's not a real problem with gun crime there. So when you have something like that, they pull it out and go, "Oh, it's one of these stupid toys. Get out of here, stupid Americans."
First time, I guess the thing that leaps out to me is the first time I was in Japan. I got abandoned and lost in Shinjuku Station, which is one of the biggest train stations in the entire world, at about 12:30 at night after they shut everything down. So like the train stopped running.
Oh man!
Basically, like the trains stop in Japan. Like when they stop, they stop. Like if you don't make it, you got problems. You've got things to figure out. And we had been drinking, and these guys were like, "Oh, our train is in 5 minutes," and they just ran off and left me. So I'm like wandering around the station for like an hour, like peering at maps, trying to figure out what the hell, and like these punk-looking dudes, who obviously are even more intoxicated than I am, show up at some point.
Oh man!
And they see me, and I was like, "Oh fuck, this is not gonna go well. I'm about to get messed with here." And they wander over, and they're like laughing about stuff or whatever, and they come up to me, and I'm like, "All right, here we go." And one of them spoke in pretty good English and like started asking me if I was lost and I needed help. And I was just like, yeah, that would be awesome. And they actually, they basically got it out of me where I tried to figure out where I was staying, like where the directions were because they didn't know the hotel I was in, and they probably spent like an hour or 90 minutes like helping me piece together the directions of where the hotel was, and then they walked me all the way back there.
Oh, nice.
So it was like,
and then they fucked you up.
Yeah, and then
they got you into the room.
Then they kicked they kicked shit out of me and took all my stuff. But it was just like wow, the people were really nice and helpful here.
You're like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. You just love the taste.
Homeboy is a maniac in those movies. Lethal Weapon, he is a fucking maniac.
He is a lethal weapon, if you will.
Yeah. Danny Glover?
Danny Glover?
Not so much.
Danny Glover? Too old for this shit.
Yeah, too old.
Just too old for this
2 days from retirement, too old.
Just too old for this shit.
I'm just picturing someone pitching this movie. All right, so there's Danny Glover.
All right, so we got Danny Glover here.
And he's too old for this
You remember him from The Color Purple. Then we got Mad Max. He is even crazier in this movie. So we got the calm guy, the calm black guy. Juxtaposition, because black people are generally just, when they're cops, they're angry. But this guy, he's Australian. Australians, generally calm people, even though they were all criminals.
Jesus
Put them
Christ.
together. Lethal Weapon. That's a million seller.
God, how long do you think it is until they remake Lethal Weapon?
Oh, fuck. This is going to save Orion.
Sorry, you just reminded me of Orion. What a weird flashback.
Yeah, right. We're going to make a RoboCop movie. We're going to Serial Mom.
No, well, I just feel like the 80s you could make any movie. Teen Wolf. Take Teen Wolf, for example.
Right,
that I found out today is
Teen
turning
Wolf
into a
is
sitcom.
I told you, I came over there.
It's
I was
unbelievable.
I was like, hey, let's remake a TV show called Teenage Dracula.
But on MTV.
Back to this like old Hollywood pitch thing. Like, I'm gonna do another Orion picture for you.
It's 1988. We're inside Orion. Picture, if you will, a stoner and his best friend, and they have a report due the next day, but they don't want to do the report. But the problem is, the father's gonna send one of them off to military school. So they do their research at the local Circle K. And all of a sudden the skies open up. And a fucking telephone booth drops from the sky. And inside of it is George Carlin. From the future George Carlin from the year 3085. And inside this telephone booth are the two kids from the future talking to themselves. And they tell them, you can take this telephone booth and go through time. And you can bring historical characters back with you and put on a TV show for your report. It's a visual report. Instead of writing it, you actually bring the goddamn characters with you. You know what we call this movie?
There was a fucking yellow pages
There's
in there.
a yellow pages. It tells you where you want to go in time. So here's the movie. Here's the movie for you. You ready for this? One of the characters is named Bill. The other character is named Ted. Now, when they're party dudes, so some of them, sometimes they say things are excellent, and if they think these things are terrible, they say they're bogus. So we call this, because this adventure is so exciting to them, we call this picture Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I see a franchise here. I see they have a bad day for the second picture. That's a bogus journey.
What did scientists think in the audience when they were watching that movie?
They thought this is totally possible. If we put a fucking wackadoo antenna, you can fix it with a pudding cup.
Man, just got my mind blown with all these Orion things. Whatever happened to Orion? They get bought by someone?
Well, here's what ruined us. We take the #1 recording artist of our time. He likes to play the accordion. His name's Weird Al Yankovic. Let's put him in a vehicle where we give him his own television show where he makes nothing but like short pictures of his videos called UHF. But you know what? That's not enough star power for this picture. We're gonna put in Fran Drescher. Nobody knows who she is. She was in a picture called Spinal Tap. You know who else we'll put in there? That guy who's gonna play Kramer one day. But instead, he was on the show Fridays on ABC.
Wow, dude.
Orion.
Yeah. Oh, and then the release date.
It's not done
Yeah.
until we get Billy Body, America's favorite midget. Throw him in this movie.
Yeah, and then let's put it out the same day that Batman with Michael Keaton comes out.
Who ever heard of Batman?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it the same day?
It was
Really?
the same day. That's what deaded that movie.
It came out on June 23rd. I just blew your mind with that, right?
Wow, all right.
June 23rd, 1989.
Wow. Okay. I'm officially in awe.
Yeah, that's right.
Scott is full of
This kid's a fucking
crazy
sponge.
pop culture knowledge.
So can I start off sharing this dream with you all? Because I think I might now officially win as king of the nerds after this
Let's
dream.
hear your dream first.
All right, my dream was that I was in Middle Earth. Oh God! Yeah, I'm not making this up. It's just sad. And I actually I made it into Mordor, and I confronted Sauron himself. And he was like a king. He was like a human. He wasn't like that giant eye. He was like a guy with a crown on. And and I went right up to him and I said, "You're not the Lord of the Rings." And I yelled that in my sleep. Oh, shit. So my wife. So my poor beleaguered wife of 20 years, this is what she has to deal with.
There went the last 2% of your sex life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, she just shook me. It's like, Jeff,
Yes.
I think you're dreaming.
You are not the Lord of the Rings.
For a second, I thought she was Sauron.
Did you wake up?
Back, devil! What?
Did you wake up in any kind of a cold sweat? Like, were you nervous?
I definitely woke up, it was so vivid and it was so real. I mean, I was confronting Sauron. It was hot shit.
Yeah. Were you able to go back to sleep after that?
No, I was pretty heart was bumping. And I was like, oh shit. To me, I was fighting Sauron.
When your dream's like so messed up, you don't want to go back to sleep because you're like,
I don't want to go back there.
Yeah,
Right.
like how long does it take me? Like if I have like, I don't know, a glass of water, maybe think about this or that, then I can go back to sleep and it's not going to continue.
But doesn't it suck if it's a good one and you wake up?
Yeah.
Jessica Alba is standing right there. She's about to untie her top and then, oh shit, I'm awake! No, wait for me, Jessica, wait!
Then you try to like force
If I fall asleep right now, maybe she'll still be doing it. Hurry!
I've never had that
Like
dream.
you squint your eyes extra tight. Just go, come on.
I'm just kidding. I shouldn't be talking about that on my wife's birthday. I'm sorry. It's a dream about you taking off your top, honey.
She looks a lot like Jessica Alba, right?
Yeah. Or Sauron.
Right.
And
The thing is, the sound is really good in that.
It's bone chilling.
It's like the only game that can get away with making enemies jump out.
It's blood curdling.
Oh shit!
Children of the night. I am Count Hackulo, the vampire comedian. Would you like to hear a joke?
Yes.
Would you like to hear an impression or a dirty joke first?
Dirty joke, Count
Dirty
Hackulo.
joke. All right. I apologize to the children in the audience. I work a little blue. Why do they call me Count?
I don't know.
Because when you give me a count, I give it an O.
Oh my god.
Count Hackulo. Would you like to hear my impression?
I would love to hear your impression.
All right. Here is my impression of Jerry Seinfeld walking into a blood bank. I think it would sound a little something like this. What? What is the deal with all this blood? Some say positive, some say negative. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, Count Hackulo.
Oh, God.
So we did get a random question. Would it be possible for Oliver? Who's Oliver? Is that
The kid they brought on the Brady Bunch in the last
Says-
3 episodes that killed it?
Would it be possible for Oliver and Count Hackulo to pitch their own threadless T-shirts? Basically, this guy is trying to ask you to mash up shit.
Yeah,
together.
he wants our characters fucking each other, basically.
Oh, you what? Okay, so we got this Dracula, and he's a hack comedian. Have you ever seen? We'll put him in a brand new reboot of the movie Punchline. He's gonna be the Tom Hanks character as a Dracula. He meets a broad who's a housewife. That's still gonna be Sally Field. Or maybe here. Oh, I got it. We're gonna flip the script. Candace Cameron, who was the kid in the original Punchline, is gonna be the mom in this one. Candace Cameron, Count Hackulo, Punchline.
Oh, comedy's so fucking hard.
When I worked at Safeway, it was
Yeah.
the same principle where the rule at the time was every time you make eye contact with someone, you need to greet them, ask them if they're finding everything okay, and then if they say that I'm looking for this. The problem is that when you stop, most people like us, they don't want to talk to you, but the others like, oh, someone's talking to me. I better think of some good answer. What am I looking for? And then they make something up. And then the next rule is that you have to go and take them to it, physically touch the item, and then recommend a complimentary purchase. So the example in the training video was that someone was asking for hot dog
Training
buns.
video.
And the guy's like, oh, ma'am, did you have pickles with that? And then it was known in the store as giving the customer the pickle. Now, this is, okay, so this was like intensely infuriating when you're stocking the shelves. You know, this was like a long time ago when I first started working in grocery stores, and you're trying to get to the other end of the store, right? And then you stop someone because every time you pass someone, you're supposed to make eye contact and say hi, and it's this infinite regress. Like, my end goal is to go put this case of beer over in the beer aisle, right? But someone asked me something about the produce, and then you go back over to the other end of the store, touch it, and do it. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to go back to my cart and do it. But nope, there's someone else, and I smiled. I got to do it again. So
Wait, when you
meanwhile,
touch their produce?
You just touch something, touch it. And then, so meanwhile, there's the mirrors up in the top, and I know where the management booth is. And you're always looking up there like, is that guy, Billy Compton was the manager. And this is why I want to tell a story ultimately about Billy Compton. And he, that old Billy Compton would look down through there, and you'd see him looking at you, and you'd be like, dude, it's totally Orwellian. It was like the Panopticon.
He would be sitting there watching you guys?
Watching us to
He's
make
like sitting
sure.
in the back room of the market?
Yeah,
watching
in the upstairs, looking down
mirror
across
room.
the store, through the two-way mirrors to make sure everyone is doing
That's
this.
some satisfying work.
And we had secret shoppers come in at least once a week, and that they would evaluate this. But then we had these things called huddles, and I don't want this to seem racist. This is the best that I can impersonate this guy, and he did speak this way. But so he would have these huddles. It was his idea. So all of a sudden, we're working on the intercom. We hear, "Attention, Safeway employees, huddle up! Time to huddle up! Let's huddle up!" So we'd have to run to the back room. We'd run to the back room, and he'd closer, closer, and we'd all get in this circle, like it's a huddle, a football game. And then he would start saying okay, it's summertime. What's gonna sell? What's gonna sell? Coke, Peppy, Frito-Lay. They'll pay us money. And then we're sitting there, we're just trying to get this shit stocked on the shelves, and this guy's telling you this, and you're like, this is fucked up, right? And then he was so condescending that there's this kid Eli who's this bagger. He's a total shit for brains, and he looks and he's telling him, he's like, "Who here want to tell me about gain sharing?" Gain sharing, and gain sharing was that if we got enough secret shopper reports that were just glowing in their report, at the end of the year we'd get an extra 5 cents tacked on to every $200 we earned. Or something like this. And then so he would break it down and remind us that we stood to gain another $3 at the end of the year. And then he looks around and he's like, "Tell me what it means." And then he goes, "Even Eli knows what that means. More money, more money, more money, more money." And Eli's all looking like, "Yeah, I know what it means."
Did he know what it means, or was he just
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh?
But it was just rad because it's bad enough to have to talk to someone and do all that, but then when that's in the background, you can be called to the huddle at any moment.
I'm trying to think if there were any other games that. Oh, you know what game looked really cool was that zombie third-person shoot 'em up that they
What,
showed.
Rock of the Dead?
No.
Oh God, that was that was one of the sad. Not
That
to
was
cut
the
you off,
saddest
but
booth.
Scott and I were running around on
It's
the strip floor a
outside,
lot.
right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had it outside next to this meat stand, and it was just this hot street meat that was sitting out there in the sun all day, and it looked horrendous. We tried to get pictures of it, but the dude probably would have killed us. Right next to that stand, they had Rock of the Dead, and it was like the worst booth babes,
The
and covered in
hot
zombie
girl,
paint.
the hottest girl at the shittiest bar in town.
Right.
Her best friend, who's not that attractive, they selected to be the booth babe for Rock of the Dead, and then they're like, "Oh, you don't look that great. Let's throw a bunch of gray face paint all over you and make
Yeah.
you look like a zombie." But that's not enough. Let's put you in the most unflattering XXL t-shirt that says Rock of the Dead. All right, throw on some hot pants. This look is complete.
Yeah. Now keep you sweltering under the sun next to the street meats.
Also, roar at anyone who walks by. Here's your $17.
Yeah, that was
Enjoy
great.
E3. Welcome to LA. You just got off the bus. I hope you're gonna make it as an actress.
I heard that
See
game.
you in porn in a few years.
It's a few years. A few years. That's what she's just getting railed by 9 dudes in the valley right now. And they're not even filming that shit yet.
Oh,
That's an
man.
audition.
That's some Rock of the Dead. Oh,
Rock of the Dead.
that's bad.
You guys actually managed to make me feel uncomfortable.
I love doing that, though. That's
Alright.
really the only reason I show up here.
You know, I wonder if that girl, while she's getting fucked by 9 guys right now, is still wearing her gray zombie makeup. She rolls into that office at Vivid, and it's like, well, what
Vivid?
act?
Yeah, I don't think so, buddy.
But it's spelled.
Let's shoot a little lower.
It's spelled
with a Y and a
yeah,
90210.
it's spelled VYVYD.
Vivid.
The thing is that it's such a depressing thing for me to think
But
of
she
these people
rolls in
turning
there.
to
She's
porn.
like, I just got off of a gig. I'm sorry I couldn't clean it up. And the porn producer's like, well, fuck, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. All right, go in there. Meet Jonathan, James, Rick, Sammy, Salvador,
Salvador. Always got to have an Italian there.
Giovanni,
And 2 Italians, apparently.
Travis, Gus, and Baloney Bill.
Yep.
And they're all fucking running a
Chuck,
train.
Laser, Bolt, Tank. The American Gladiators, folks.
Nitro's in there. Tower.
Water, barbecue, hockey stick.
Nah, man.
You're gonna tag team with Diamond. All right, get in there. It's gonna. The only way to kill the zombies is if you fuck them.
I could see the Orion's studio owners now just owning a really shitty porn company. Now that they moved on.
With Y's.
Yeah.
All right, so here we have a fucking zombie go. We got him over there. You're gonna fuck nine guys.
Now, in my mind, all they do is they just take Orion movies and adapt them into porn
Adapt them into
versions.
porn. So I
Robo Slut.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just fucking love to work in that industry, just on that creative side, not on the getting fucked by hockey stick side,
But the creative side of porn?
Yeah, like I mean, I almost got a design job working for a porn site once back in college.
Who didn't?
Yeah, I know. But the guy was like, yeah, we need you to do like DVD box covers and stuff. And then I was like, I've seen DVD box covers. When they say like, you know, cum splattered chicks, they get the graphic designer to go in there and actually cum splatter the words cum splat.
I think hold on.
What?
Is this too far?
I don't know. I'm just wondering if we're gonna get in trouble here.
I was just gonna talk about the fucking lens flares that you have to throw on it.
Yes, in every one.
It's like there's a girl smiling, and it's like, what is on her face? I can't quite tell because this is on a box, but it's got a fucking lens flare on it.
Actually,
I knew the dude. Stop. We're moving on from this.
Video games.
Video games, please.
Porn zombies.
How did this happen? Because we tried to talk about Rock of the Dead. Jesus Christ. Anyways.
I don't even know what we'd get in, like, I mean, from fights and stuff. Sometimes it would just be something dumb. You'd be mad, and I didn't understand why I'd be in trouble. Like, one thing, anytime someone would have to take a shit, you would run, you'd be like, dude, someone's taking a shit. Like, there's only one course of action. It's to run on the playground and scream so everyone knows, and you all run in, and you go to the stalls next to it, and you get the toilet paper, and then you get it wet in the sink, and you stand up on the adjacent stalls and urinals, and you throw them down on the person taking a shit.
Where the hell did you live? Seriously. Fucking Lord of the Flies.
The whole bathroom roof was covered with, like, stalactites of wet toilet paper from us just going in there. Kids wouldn't, you know, not to go to the bathroom in schools because this was going to happen to you. There's one time in high school, it fucking carried all the way to high school. There's no doors on the shitters, so you really didn't want to have to deuce at school. I'm sitting there, and there was like a special ed kid taking a dump, and then, dude, what's his last name?
Don't say his last name.
No, the bully. Paul Grabansky is in the mirror combing his hair back. This is, I swear to God, this sounds like it's fiction. It's not. He's fucking combing his hair, and then he's looking in the mirror, and he turns around. What do we have here? Oh, God. He's like, and then the guy's, imagine you're right behind him taking a shit, and this guy's combing, and he's like, what do we have? And then he goes, he gets down, I'm like, kind of like on my haunches with my hands on my knees, and he's like, special ed taking a fucking shit. Oh, take a fat shit for me, special ed. And he's like, doing the hang loose.
Sounds like a horrible teen movie.
Doing the hang loose sign in the guy's face because he was a surfer or something. and then he just leaves. He just walks out.
What a tough guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, schools are institutions, not unlike prison, and people
Yeah,
act
seriously.
like that.
These are like prison stories.
You're glad your daughters go to a private school.
Who inevitably is sharded in my pants.
Anthony has the semi-annual shard.
Almost once a year. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's no secret that I fart a lot. I mean, every human farts a lot. I guess I just make it more public, and you know, there's been times that I treat my body pretty bad sometimes with the food I eat, even though it's vegetarian. And there's been times that I've paid for it with the fart that turned into a shart. But Tyler, on the other hand, said he had a good story of when he actually did the full deed. I mean, I've done the full deed too. It's just been a while, you know. But I've had some. I can distinctly remember a time when I was a little kid, and I shit my pants good. Like I must have been like probably 9 or something like that. It was like 1 in the morning. I was sick, and I shit my pants really bad. And I just remember I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do because I was like, what should I do with my underwear? Like, you know, if I threw them in the garbage can, my mom would know. So I just remember I walked out and threw them around the side of my house, and I was like, I'll take care of them tomorrow morning. That's my fucking story for you.
Oh, you don't want to talk about the one where you shit your bed like 2 years ago?
I was farting on my bed, and I just pooed a little. Just a little. It was a shart, man.
It's like, you know how at Best Buy on Black Friday they try to only let certain people in, and sometimes more sweep in with them.
That's what I'm saying. These things happen.
Great.
Now, Tyler.
Yeah, mine. It wasn't like a wham bam and you're over situation. I went to school.
Oh no.
And I was in 3rd grade, and I don't have a poo phobia, which means like I can poo in public. You know, public restrooms don't freak me out, but I never went during school because they were always so gross and there were no doors or walls.
Oh, that's fucked up.
And like,
what the fuck? What kind of crazy third world fucking elementary school did you go to?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I just didn't. I wasn't cool with that at that age. I mean, now
what was there, like a trough or buckets or something?
I wouldn't want to shit without doors.
Did they dig a pit and back?
Yep.
How the fuck were there not doors?
I guess because they figured people would kick them off or something.
Like the Old West had walls on the outhouse. Or you like shit
Tyler,
out.
Hold on, stop. Because we still haven't gotten to how Tyler shit his pants.
Oh man. And like usually if I really had to go during school, it would hit me like after lunch and I would just hold it, I could hold it for hours. But this one, it was like an hour into school and I knew
it wasn't going to happen.
I knew it wasn't happening. And so it's like I had the
or more specifically, you knew it was happening.
I knew it was happening.
I guess try and go during class, right? Because then there won't be that many kids in there.
Right. It was like I was thinking like, well, I could hold it all day or I could just go now and wait till I get home. And so I did, and I walked around all day at school.
Oh, you meant I could just go now, like, in my pants?
Yeah.
Whoa! Man, that's like going from 0 to the speed of light.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't even have to go that bad when you went?
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, it was bad. Like, I knew it was bad. I mean, this was like beyond. I mean, this was like, it was a call, man. I had to drop bombs.
Wait, okay,
It was
George
a call
Bush.
to arms.
Wait, if you had to shit that bad an hour into school, you didn't have to go before you left?
No, that was the thing.
You weren't like running late?
That's never happened to you. I've been in my house all of a sudden and just been like, playing video games.
It was just like a punch in the stomach. Like, oh, you're going.
No, I've never been like,
man.
Yeah.
Man,
So
this
you
is
just-
a
you
really
just, like-
interesting article
You
on
just
The
put on like the
Economist.
stern face and just dropped him right there.
I did it, and then so here's kind of the fucked up shit that would follow.
Oh, what do you mean the fucked up shit that would follow? We are in fucked up
we need to
shit
get past
town.
this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, it smelled really bad, but I was...
You just play it off.
I was sitting next to this student, and he was one of the students that was always, like, rambunctious, he was always loud and kind of obnoxious, and he had his shoes off. And, like, the teacher kept being like, what's that smell? What's that smell? So I was blaming it on the kid.
What the fuck do you mean, what's that smell?
And then it's and it was like so weird, like sitting in a chair with poop in your pants and like spreading it around. And so I finally, and here's the worst part, like when we were getting picked up from school, my parents were carpooling, so it wasn't my parents that were picking us up, it was someone else's parents. And I get in and the first thing I hear is, who shit their pants? And I said, one of the kids in my class did, and the smell rubbed off on me.
One last poo story before I read a letter was that I remember I took a poo when we were out shooting guns, and then we shot it with a gun and it exploded.
One of my friends like grabbed his turd from the toilet and squished in his hand and came to us afterwards to tell us about it.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Hello and welcome to the motherfucking Game Spidey briefings.
Wow. There we go.
Ostensibly, we occasionally talk about video games.
Really?
Yeah, occasionally.
Getting more occasional by the week.
But I used, I used a lot of first generation iMacs and they all blew, like I used G3 and then the G4 came out the next year and I felt like a dickhead, There's a long history that
Dickhead,
sucks.
man, that's not an insult that people use enough, by the way.
Oh, I know.
It's right up there with butthole to me.
I like dickhole.
Yeah, dickhole.
I like
Combine
dick
the two.
hole. Yeah, dickhole's are
Douche hole is good
Or
too.
dickweed.
Douche novel.
The one time in my life that I ever had to wash my mouth out with soap, my mom actually made me do it. And then she never made us do it again. I think she realized it was kind of fucked up. But when I was a little kid, I called my brother a dickweed, and he tattled on me, and I had to put a bar of soap in my mouth. It was.
I don't even know if dickweed was invented when I was a little kid.
Dickweed was invented when we were kids, yeah. Absolutely.
Am I the only one who ever had that happen? Some like fucking harsh corporal punishment from your mom?
I said "fuck you" to my cat once, and I'm not kidding you. And my mom washed my mouth out with soap and like immediately felt terrible about it.
Yeah, see, my mom only ever did it to
Yeah, it
us
was one
once, and
time.
she was like, and it was like the.
Well, I didn't curse at home. I cursed over at other people's houses.
I used
And
to-
then
I used to
other parents would like yell at me, but they couldn't like
Well,
scold
Bromley,
me.
we're Italian. Like we grew up,
Yeah.
you know, I grew up just surrounded in a flurry of curses.
Yeah.
See, I didn't really. I grew up in a very strict Catholic Italian family, so there wasn't a whole lot of swearing. But God, I swore up a storm in my treehouse with my next door neighbor Matt. We would go up there like we're like, are we safe? All right, fuck. Tits, asshole, bitch.
Have it written down in a little
Yeah, it was
notebook
like
just
we
to
would
make
just-
sure you cover them all.
We just wanted to cover them all and come up with our own.
I did that, but with prank calls.
My same friends, we used to roll around and do that, and then we also. I remember the first time they were like, "Let's go egg a house," and I was like, "Really? We're gonna do it?" He's like, "Yeah, man, steal like 3 eggs from your mom." So I came out with eggs. He's like, "All right, whose house?" He's like, "I don't know, man, just pick one." Then I remember we did it, and they came out, and I remember I felt like I'd never been so scared in my life. I was like, I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to go to jail. And we're running back to my house and hiding inside. And my mom's like, what'd you guys do? And we're like, nothing. Just saw a dog.
It's funny because like I've always had that impulse, and I realized recently because me and Miggles are roommates, and we first moved in, we bought like a dozen eggs, and we used. Yeah, it's not like that. And we used none of them. And I had this moment where, like, I was like, yo, man, these are like a month expired. Like, what should I do with them? And he's like, I'll throw them out. And I walked over to the garbage can, and I'm like, I'm an adult now. And I threw them out. And I'm like, I should be throwing these at cars and people and dogs.
I just want to point out that you guys earlier were making fun of me for owning a Transformers plate.
Yeah,
Still.
Yeah.
These are the reasons Ryan didn't go out and do these things, which is good, right? Because like I didn't drink or anything either. So, but I still did a lot of deviant.
Yeah,
crap.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I did all this
like-
shit before I was drinking.
Yeah,
Man. When I was drinking, once I started drinking, I calmed down a lot.
That
with
was
that
like,
stuff.
before I was drinking
most part.
or, whatever, experimenting in high school and that kind of crap, I was like lighting piles of leaves on fire and then hiding in bushes with my friends and laughing while the fire department showed up to put them out.
Lighting harmless fire.
Or like a huge harmless fire. Like
At 3 o'clock one day in middle school, I took a backpack and I ran down the row and took everyone's locks as they were unlocking their lockers, and I basically had a bag of 75 locks. And me and my friend were like, what are we supposed to do with this? And he was like, I don't know, get in trouble, I guess.
It's that moment when you realize, what are we supposed to, like, I stole a gigantic banner off of City Hall that they put up every single year for this big dance. And my buddy and I are like, we got it home, we're like, what the fuck are we going to do with this? And we just fucking throw it in the creek, who cares?
Dude, my friends were so much worse. My friends were like, hey man, I got this block of dry ice. Cool. Let's shave chunks of it and put it in 2-liter bottles and then put it inside mailboxes. Which then blows the mailbox to pieces. We could have killed someone probably.
Well, I remember like getting into all that stuff, and like I did the thing where you take the Strike Anywhere matches, you break off all the heads, and you put them in a tennis ball,
And then you throw it and it just blows up.
So, but then there was like that chapter in the Anarchist Cookbook where every boy decides how he wants to spend the rest of his life.
Yeah, I actually had like the softcover like version of the Anarchist Cookbook.
God, both of you guys, what is wrong with you?
Until my mom found out that I had it. I like hid it somewhere in my room, and she was like, quote unquote, cleaning one day and found this Anarchist Cookbook, and I was in like 4th grade, and I was like making all this crazy shit in the book and stuff, and I had the local bookstore order it for me specially. So it had
what fucking
because it didn't have it, and they had no idea what it was. They were
goes
like,
into a bookstore. Hi, I'd like.
yeah,
to buy
seriously,
this.
I was 10 years old, and I was like, I'd like to get this book. I was like, can you order it? Because they had a list. I put my name down and my number, and they called me back, and they were
that
like,
guy is definitely in jail
Did you
now.
and your buddies like go into the bookstore like you were on your buddy's shoulders and you were wearing a giant trench coat and a mustache? Excuse me, my wife is interested in this book.
Yeah, it's like the bookstore owner. Like the bookstore owner from like Neverending Story or something. This will blow your mind, son. And then he gets all happy when he secretly steals it.
My fucking mom finds this book, and she's like, where the hell did you get this? Oh, never mind. I see the price tag goes up and just screams like dude. There are some really dangerous things in that book.
To say the
least. It's like
The
make it
most
like
dangerous
chemicals
thing.
that you can make that you could just. It
What do you
starts
expect
off
from
as
something called the Anarchist Cookbook?
Yeah, but starts off as a liquid, and you
How
can
did
pour
we
it on the
get to
street,
this?
and as
They
soon as
had
a
the one-
car drives over and causes friction over the stride fluid, it bursts into and explodes. Like
they had
it's a
they had this one where it was
friction-based.
like you walk in the room and you switch on the light, and the light bulb explodes and
Yeah.
blinds you. I mean, that was like some Home Alone 2 shit. Like,
Well, it was a little
'cause
beyond Home Alone 2.
We were watching Home Alone
yeah.
2 the other day, and I realized like what he did to the bandits in the first one,
to the wet bandits, was
bad.
nothing.
What he did in the second was dirty.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Just
you never
straight up dirty.
You never did like any stupid crap with your friends that was like way too dangerous. Like when I was on a school trip, I remember my friend brought a can of Sterno with him. Do you know what Sterno is? The Sterno is like a butane in gel.
Yeah, it's like a pink jelly.
Yeah, and you can
Isn't
burn
it like you put it under?
Well, you can
food?
actually coat your whole hand in it and light your hand on fire, and it won't burn your hand.
That's
It'll
what they
just burn all
burned that
Sterno away.
restaurant down with in Goodfellas.
Yeah. So
to the kids
so
listening at
Sterno.
home, don't do that.
So don't do this. But I remember we were also like we were in our hotel room, we're on a school trip, and we're just like taking light bulbs and dipping them in it, and then lighting them on fire until they fucking blow up and stuff like that. Like just the
Oh,
I just
that's
feel
terrible.
like Ryan, nothing.
Dude, as a child?
Yeah,
I
like-
stayed up for 26 hours.
Did you used to
playing.
make dirt ramps and you jump over them with your
Cool
bike?
spot.
And there was that time when like you broke and thought you might be dead.
No.
You ever like light fireworks in the woods?
Have you ever thought did something insane where you ran away with your friends going, "Holy shit"? What
Yeah,
did we
you
just
ever
do?
you ever jump off a ledge to
Ring
try
and
and
run?
attach yourself to a tree and then bounce off the tree and land straight on your head?
Or do flips
like
out of a
I
tree?
did back in college? That was terrible. Yeah.
Did you ever ring and run?
Really hurt.
I climbed some trees.
Did you ever burn anything?
No.
You didn't burn shit?
Did you ever
dude?
prank call anybody?
Huh?
You ever prank call anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, let's hear about it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I prank called some people and probably said some corny stuff. The end.
Were you
I
one of
prank
those like,
called-
is your refrigerator running people?
No. I prank called 411 one time, and then I was like, haha, and then they called me back. I was like, whoa, I didn't know that was possible.
That's gold.
Yeah. Oh.
I think we need to like now that we're all like in the same place, we got to we just take Ryan out for an afternoon.
Basically,
lighting
but basically,
fireworks and
even
shit
though
and
he's here
bags
right
on
now and
fire.
we're talking, it just needs to be one of these days where we're like, oh, let's go out to lunch. Like many months from now when Ryan's forgotten this conversation. We'll all go out to lunch and be like, oh yeah, now we're just walking to this really cool place. It's just a few blocks farther. And then we're going to fucking bag Ryan and put him out with gas.
Yeah.
And then when he wakes up, we're just going to be standing by this big fire and being like, remember Ryan, when the cops get here, run.
So Ryan, you ever put a fart bomb in a teacher's personal refrigerator?
No.
Because I did.
So, people that don't watch episodes like 1 and 2 that closely won't notice, but there is like
Star Wars.
Yeah. When I say episodes 1 and 2, there is nothing else. You know what I mean? Like I would say the name of this thing first, but Star Wars needs no introduction. But there is a female equivalent of Yoda on the Jedi Council, and last week on GFW, all the guys were clowning on her, and they told me ahead of time that that's what they're going to be doing, which is why I wasn't on the show, and won't be on any future GFWs because like. I can't handle that they've just been like they can clown on a lot of shit, but Star Wars I take kind of personally. Especially when it comes to Yaddle, because one time I got some play from a Primordial Midget. Primordial Midgets are really, really tiny, and she was cosplaying as Yaddle at the New York Comic Con I went to. So I take it kind of on a personal level. Especially because, you know, a lot of people don't know that Yaddle's like an extra special character. You know, she like worked with one of the head of the Jedi Council, and then she suffered a century of imprisonment. This shit's on Wikipedia. It's all expanded universe. So after suffering a century of imprisonment, she was given a temporary seat on the Jedi Council. And then she went and fought, after training some really hardcore Jedi Council members, I mean, like, you know, Jedi Knights. She ended up fighting on this planet just prior to the Clone Wars, and she sacrificed herself by absorbing a chemical weapon blast that would have destroyed a city, which Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi were in. So she sacrificed herself, saving Obi-Wan and Anakin, making Episode 3 possible. And, you know, was then replaced by Shaak Ti, who we all know if we all watch the Clone Wars cartoons. Shaak Ti. Plus, you know, I was talking to Sean last night, and it was just pissing me off because he was clowning on Twi'leks. Because I told him Twi'leks are like the single most beautiful alien species. And he said that
that's retarded, but it's a known fact, like in Star Wars lore, that Twi'leks are just like the most gorgeous girls. Twi'leks being the head tails girls that you see in Jabba's palace dancing. But yeah, it all comes down to Yaddle. There's been a lot of people after that GFW making some really nasty photoshops of Yaddle milk and shit like that for Sean, and I just don't appreciate that. I take it very personal, so fuck GFW radio, and I ain't gonna be on that shit no more. You guys don't know shit about Yaddle.
Thank you, Anthony, for bringing this to light.
All right, there you go. All right, there you go. I feel awkward. There you go. What's the matter with me today? Jesus Christ. Okay, there's some shit from some podcasts. I think I'm talking weird because I'm not sure if my roommate's home or not, and I'm just sitting here talking to myself. It's weird, man. Fucking weird. Alright, so those clips cracked me up. I hope you enjoyed them as well. If you are interested in hearing any of those podcasts, go to keithcourage.com to the show notes for this episode, and I'll post where they all came from. Now, one guy that showed up a lot in those clips is a guy named Anthony Gallegos. He's led me to a bunch of cool podcasts, just following him around wherever he sort of shows up, and he's just he's a funny, cool dude. I like him. So let's finish off with a song performed by him that I really like. It's called Amanda, and it's really cool. And thank you for listening. KeithCourage.com, XO episode, whatever this is. Y'all come back now. You hear? All right. See ya.
Each night when I go home, wish I had you in tow. Oh God, what a gift that would be. But the timing's just not right for me to be a part of your life. At least that's what you tell me. But I could love you like no one else could. But please don't let it be misunderstood. I only say it all because I care. Amanda, come back home. 'Cause though you never lived here, this is where you always belonged. Amanda, come back home. 'Cause though you never lived here, this is where you always belong. I've been told that all that's good never comes as easy as it should. Well, that must make you the most good of all. Don't let my words fall on deaf ears. Together we'll wipe away your tears, and then we'll find happiness if we try. All you have to do is grab my hand. When we falter, we'll help each other stand. And now we'll do whatever it takes. Amanda, come back home. 'Cause though you never lived here, this is where you always belong. Amanda, come back home. 'Cause though you never lived here, this is where you always belong. 'Cause though you never lived here, this is where you always belong. 'Cause though you never lived here, this is where you always belong.
I can beat Super Mario World in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Start to finish.
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
How?
The Star Zone. Once you get there, you're right at Bowser's back door.
Yeah.
You know what happens there, right?
If you go to Bowser's back door, does he
get pregnant?
with clown car? Thank you.
People have said that the last few episodes in particular were actually some of the better ones.
Yeah, I know.
Enjoy them while they're here.
Yeah.
Everyone, we keep thinking we're going to get taken off the air.
Yeah, the well is also running dry. I mean, the first half of this podcast was fucking terrible.
Of this one?
Yeah, this one right now.
Yeah, because we were just actually talking about games.
Yeah, that's awful. No one wants to hear about
Fuck that.
Talking about like the animation in Tetris, no one gives a shit.
The animation in Tetris.
I have question. If Alexei Pajitnov is making Tetris, will he make skee ball game? Thank you.
Skee ball game.
Oh, man.
I had this fucking kid that I grew up with that said that his uncle invented skee ball. I always call him such a bullshitter, but I'll never
He's
get to
from New Jersey, though.
Yeah.
I think it might have some truth to it.
Yeah, I don't know. That kid's a dickhead.
It's an odd claim.
I think he was lying.
Very odd claim.
Yeah.
You'll always wonder, though.
Yeah, I will.
Excuse me.
Okay.
When Baby Mario see Big Mario on a racetrack in Mario Kart, did Baby Mario say, "Hello, Papa"?
Thank you. He ends them all with thank you.
Thank you.
He follows the format.
Yes, I also have a question. Please, if Samus did have child with Link, would Godfather be Mario? Thank you. Do you have quest? I have another quest while you look for quest. Yes, I have quest. How fearsome enemy do Mario and Yonky Dong become? Do Mario ever shoot Yonky Dong with hunting rifle?
Yonky Dong. I fucking love that.
And feast on delicious meats. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Yes.
When Samus saved Baby Metroid, do feelings of rage encompass Metroid, but then no? Why he goes away and leaves Samus until next adventure? Thank you.
That makes no sense. Okay, I have question. My last question here. Please tell why so many Bowser monster children in Mario Land Adventure Time. One would be many? Thank you.
That was a good one.
Does Donkey Kong cry every time Mario 12 sees bananas in the streets? Thank you.
I wonder if Zelda play game without sword, is life pointless? Thank you.
How to fight Ganon? Thank you.
I have question.
That's the
If Yoshi eat Luigi, does he get one up if fall into pit with Kid Icarus? Thank you.
There was a time when this character, he would say things that sort of made sense.
Yeah,
a little
now
bit.
they're just-
They've
it's just- he's
just
devolved
bizarre.
into like,
We're off the tracks at this point.
if table is made of 4 legs, can you bring to Soda Popinski in Punch Out on Star Fox Airplane? Thank you.
Wow.
That's what happens when you give a character a sequel.